found out my wife was cheating when her pregnancy test came back positive, and I've had a vasectomy for 3 years. But before you rush to call her the villain, you need to hear what I did first. Because the truth is, when I finally caught her, I didn't yell, I didn't cry, I invited her lover to dinner. Welcome to Raw Reddit Tales. Subscribe to keep getting the spiciest stories. My name's Daniel, and for 6 years I thought I had the kind of marriage people envied. Maya was stunning, elegant, witty, the kind of woman who could make waiters stumble over their words. I adored her, maybe too much. She said she loved me for my calmness, my patience. Turns out she loved it because it made it easier to lie. We'd been trying for a baby for years. Doctor visits, fertility drugs, hopeful tears, and then suddenly she tells me she's pregnant, glowing, radiant, crying with joy. I hugged her. I smiled, and deep inside, I died. Because I knew it wasn't possible, not biologically. I didn't say anything at first. I just watched her. The late night calls, the sudden girls' trips, the perfume she never wore before. It wasn't just suspicion, it was confirmation hiding in plain sight. But I wanted to know who. I needed to see the face of the man who'd taken my place in her heart. So I did something unthinkable. I played along. I kissed her forehead, told her she looked beautiful, and suggested we celebrate her good news. A dinner. Just the two of us, I said. But what she didn't know was that I had already sent an invitation to someone else. Her lover. When he walked into that restaurant, the world stopped. Maya's fork slipped from her hand. My pulse didn't even race. I just smiled, stood up and said, "You must be Alex." Her mouth opened, but no sound came out. And in that silence, I realized this wasn't just about betrayal. It was about power. Because for the first time in our marriage, I wasn't the fool. The air in that restaurant could have cut glass. Maya's face turned ghost white, and Alex, well, he looked like a man who just realized he'd walked into his own grave. I gestured for him to sit. The waiter came over, oblivious to the storm brewing, and asked what we'd like to drink. Maya couldn't speak. Alex mumbled, "Water's fine." I smiled, calm as ever, and said, "Champagne for all of us. We're celebrating." "Celebrating what?" Maya finally whispered, her voice shaking. "New beginnings," I said. She tried to grab my hand across the table, but I pulled it back, slow and deliberate. I wanted her to feel every second of the silence that followed. Then I leaned back and said, "So, how long have you two been seeing each other?" Alex coughed, Maya gasped, and for the first time, I saw fear in her eyes. Not guilt. Fear. She whispered, "Daniel, please, not here." "Oh, I think here is perfect," I said. "You've been eating in secret, now let's dine together." I didn't raise my voice once. That was the part that unsettled her most. I was composed, too calm, because truth be told, I wasn't just confronting them. I was studying them, their body language, the way they looked at each other. And that's when I noticed something odd. Alex wouldn't meet her eyes. He was ashamed, yes, but also scared. When I asked him how long it had been going on, he muttered, "About a year." But Maya interrupted immediately, snapping, "That's not true." That's when I knew one of them was lying, but maybe not the one I expected. The waiter brought the champagne, and as we clinked glasses, an ironic gesture if there ever was one, I said softly, "I had a vasectomy 3 years ago, so tell me, whose baby is it?" Maya froze, her lips trembling. Alex stared at her like she just confessed to a crime. He whispered, "Wait, what?" The silence that followed felt eternal. That's when I realized there was another layer I hadn't even considered. Maybe, just maybe, Alex wasn't the only secret she was keeping. And I wasn't the only one she'd lied to. Maya's hands trembled as she pushed her chair back. Her voice cracked, low and desperate. "Daniel, please, not here." But the damage was done. Alex's confusion had turned into horror. He stood abruptly, looking between us like a man watching a car crash he couldn't stop. "Maya," he hissed, "you said it was over with him. You said the baby was mine." Every head in the restaurant turned. She froze, her face pale under the dim light. I didn't move. I just sat there, my fingers resting calmly on my glass. "So it's his baby?" I asked quietly. "Or is it someone else's?" She didn't answer. Her silence was an answer on its own. Alex looked like he'd been punched. "You told me," he started, but then stopped, realization washing over him. "Oh my God," he whispered. "You've been lying to both of us." That was the first time I saw the real Maya, not the polished, composed woman she pretended to be, but the panicked, cornered liar underneath. She grabbed her purse and stormed out. Alex followed a few steps, then stopped and turned to me. "You knew, didn't you?" he said. I nodded once. "I suspected." He exhaled sharply, his hands trembling. "You're not the only one," she played. That night, after the chaos, I didn't go home. I sat in my car outside the restaurant, the taste of champagne still bitter on my tongue. I stared at the ring on my finger, the one that once symbolized trust, and wondered how many versions of our marriage existed that I never knew about. The next morning, Maya came home looking broken. Her mascara was smudged, her hair a mess. She tried to speak, but I stopped her with a single question. "How many?" She blinked, confused. "How many what? How many men, Maya?" Her lips parted, but no words came out. Tears filled her eyes, but I wasn't moved. I just stood there, letting her drown in her own silence. Finally, she whispered, "I made mistakes, Daniel, but you're not innocent either." Her tone was sharp, almost accusing, and that was when it hit me. She knew something. Something she shouldn't. Something about me. Her words lingered in the air like poison. "You're not innocent either." I stared at her, searching her face for meaning, but she wouldn't look at me. I laughed, but it came out hollow. "You cheat on me, get pregnant by God knows who, and now you want to talk about my sins?" She wiped her tears and whispered, "You think you've been watching me, Daniel? You forget I watched you first." Something in her tone froze me. It wasn't guilt anymore. It was certainty. She walked past me toward the kitchen, her heels clicking against the floor like a countdown. I know about the money, she said softly. The offshore account, the fake invoices. Alex told me everything. My stomach turned. She wasn't bluffing. She knew. The company I co-owned with Alex had been under quiet investigation for months, nothing proven yet, but I'd moved some funds to protect myself. It wasn't exactly legal. And now, somehow, she'd weaponized it. I clenched my fists. You don't know what you're talking about. She smirked. The same smirk that used to melt me now felt venomous. Don't lie, Daniel. I've seen the documents. You thought deleting your emails would hide it, but Alex had copies. So that was it. My wife and my business partner weren't just sleeping together. They were plotting together. My betrayal wasn't emotional. It was financial. She hadn't just broken my heart. She'd planned to ruin me. You set me up? I said quietly. Her eyes flickered with guilt, then defiance. You were never home. You cared more about money than us. Alex just listened. It wasn't supposed to go this far. I took a step closer, my voice low. You mean stealing my company wasn't supposed to go this far? She didn't answer. She didn't have to. That's when my phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. She's going to turn you in tomorrow. Thought you should know. I looked at her. She didn't even flinch. She'd already made her move, but she underestimated me. Because while she was plotting with Alex, I'd been recording. Every lie, every meeting, every word. And if she wanted war, I was finally ready to give it to her. That night, I didn't sleep. Every sound in the house felt louder, sharper, like the walls themselves were holding their breath. Maya slept on the other side of the bed, or pretended to. I could hear the soft buzz of her phone under the pillow, and every time it vibrated, she flinched. I knew it was Alex. I also knew he wouldn't be calling much longer. By morning, I had already put my plan in motion. The recordings, the emails, the bank statements. I had everything organized. For months, I'd been suspicious enough to back up every conversation we'd ever had about money. She thought she was clever, but she'd underestimated the one thing she always accused me of lacking: patience. When she woke up, I was in the kitchen, calm, making coffee. You look tired, I said. She gave a nervous smile. Rough night. I slid my phone across the counter toward her. I'm sure this will wake you up. She picked it up and froze. On the screen was a video. Her and Alex in the office, whispering about transferring funds, laughing about how I'd never see it coming. Her face drained of color. Where did you get this? She whispered. I told you, I said, sipping my coffee. I watch everything now. She backed away, panic rising. Daniel, listen. It wasn't what it looked like. Oh, it's exactly what it looked like, I cut in. You planned to sell me out, Maya. You both did. But the difference is, I made sure the paper trail leads to you. Her eyes widened. What are you saying? I'm saying, I said, leaning forward. When the authorities come asking about the missing funds, they won't be looking for me. Her breathing quickened. You can't do that to me. I smiled faintly. You already did it to yourself. Her phone rang, Alex's name flashing across the screen. She hesitated, then answered. Alex, what? She froze. Whatever he said made her knees buckle. The color drained from her face. She dropped the phone. He's gone, she whispered. Gone? I asked. She looked up, shaking. He's on a plane, to Zurich, with everything. The irony burned sweetly. The thief had been stolen from, and for the first time in months, I felt alive. Maya stood there trembling, her world collapsing piece by piece. She looked lost, like the walls she built out of lies were finally closing in. He took everything, Daniel, she whispered, staring blankly at the floor. The money, the documents, my passport, he's gone. I leaned against the counter, almost amused by the poetic symmetry of it all. You really thought Alex was your ticket out? He played you, Maya, just like you tried to play me. Tears streamed down her face, mascara streaking down her cheeks. You don't understand, he promised. I interrupted. He promised you'd ruin me, but you ruined yourself. She sank into a chair, her shoulders shaking. What are you going to do now? I poured her a glass of water, placed it in front of her, and said quietly, I already did it. The night before, I'd sent every recording, every document, every message to my lawyer. A scheduled email had already gone out to the board of directors. By now, they all knew who moved the money. Maya's name was on every file. She'd become the faith she helped create. She looked up at me, horrified. You'd destroy me like that? I sighed. You destroyed us long before I ever fought back. Then came the knock at the door, sharp, authoritative. She froze. 2 men in suits stood outside, flashing IDs. Mrs. Hale, we need you to come with us. Her eyes met mine, wide with disbelief. Daniel, please, don't let them. But I didn't move. I just stood there watching as they led her away, her voice fading into the distance. For years, she had controlled the narrative, made me the calm, naive husband who'd never fight back. But that morning, the power finally shifted. And yet, when the house fell silent, the victory didn't taste sweet. The echo of her footsteps haunted me. I'd won the war, but somewhere in the wreckage, the man I used to be had died too. Months later, I saw a news headline. Ex-financier Alex Monroe arrested in Zurich, turns on former lover in fraud scheme. Maya's mugshot was beside his. I closed my laptop and stared into my reflection. The man looking back wasn't angry anymore, just empty. Was I wrong for getting even? Or was this the only way to survive someone who wanted to destroy me first? The end. Please like and subscribe for more interesting stories like this. What do you think of this story? Please comment below.